I know you mentioned ChatGPT in your annual letter. Have you tried it?
Yeah. If I had my phone, I'd show you.
What do you use it for?
I just ask it questions.
Like what?
I don't remember. What's Emily Chang going to ask me?
You've got a top-notch group investigating AI. What are they up to? What's the next level of finance you think AI can unlock?
Yeah. So I think the most important thing is that AI is real. We already have thousands of people doing it. Top scientists around the world, Manuel Velosa, who ran Carnegie Mellon Machine Learning. And it's a living, breathing thing. So people want to answer, what's it going to do? It's a living, breathing thing. It's going to change. There are going to be all different types of models and different types of tools and technology. But the way to think about it for us is every single process, so errors, trading, hedging, research, every app, every database, you're going to be applying AI. So it might be as a co-pilot. It might be to replace humans. Like, AI is doing all the equity hedging for us for the most part. It's idea generation, it's large language models, it's note-taking while you're talking to someone, and while it's taking notes, it may actually say to you that, here's the thing of interest the client might be interested in, all error, all customer service. It's a little bit of everything.
But it is going to replace some jobs.
Of course, yeah. But I look, folks, people have to take a deep breath, okay? Technology's always replaced jobs. Your children can live to 100 and not have cancer because of technology. And literally, they'll probably be working 3.5 days a week. So technology's done unbelievable things for mankind, but planes crash, pharmaceuticals get misused. There are negatives. This one, the biggest negative in my view, is AI being used by bad people to do bad things. Think of cyber, but the fact, and I do think eventually have legal guardrails around it. It's kind of hard to do because it's new, but it will add a huge value. And for JPMorgan, if it replaces jobs, we hope to redeploy people. Going way back, I used to do a presentation on financial crises, going back to those blowups in Ginnie Mae's, Penn Central, commercial paper, the 87 crash, the 90 recession, the 74 recession. And if you make a list of all those things, you realize, and I'm not making fun of everyone, they happen all the time. And the best preparation is, in our business, capital and liquidity, which Dodd-Frank improved. We already had a lot. Be prepared. You can't be prepared after the fact. You got to be prepared before the fact. So when I talk about risk management, it's always about the range of outcomes. Can we handle them? And beyond that, we talk about geopolitical crises, cyber. I put cyber at the high risk. You got to be prepared for that stuff. And it does happen, and it's going to surprise you one day. Just like, am I surprised if oil? Will I be surprised if oil goes to 150? I will not.
Yeah.
It can easily happen if a bunch of factors fall a certain way. So the best thing is be prepared for any business.
So going a little bigger picture now, you run the biggest bank in the world. You have our money. You've got world leaders on speed dial. That's a lot of power. How do you decide when and how to wield that power?
Yeah, I'm not sure I have a lot of people on speed dial. So you say all that. Sometimes I think I'm just riding the Bronco and hanging on for dear life. I love what I do. I try to talk to everyone. I try to keep my mind open. One of the benefits from traveling the world, I was just in Mumbai and Switzerland and seeing clients. You learn a lot, and you try to make sure that you're doing a proper assessment of the world. That you're looking at the options. You're not like just saying we're going to do this. I look at it as part of our job to try to help countries do the best they can for their citizens. So we bank countries. We also advise them on skills and trade and economics. You look at our research, it's a lot around how does an economy run. So when you go to, when I got back from Mumbai, we research 150 companies now or something like that. So we're educating the world about those companies. We're educating the world about the Indian economy. As we do that, we also educate the Indians about what works in their economy and what doesn't work. And those are important things to lift up society.
All this translates into a great deal of power and influence.
You've built a bank that's $4 trillion in assets and counting. How big is too big?
I think the question is what works for consumers and industries and stuff like that. So, if you want to build a Boeing aircraft, you have to be big. You can pretend that you don't. If you want to do what JPMorgan does, we move $10 trillion of money around the world every day. We bank some of these companies in 30 countries. We bank countries. We bank the World Bank, the IMF. We bank the United States government. You have to be big. You can't do those things and be small. I applaud the small banks. We're the biggest bank, community banks and regional banks and stuff like that. And I understand, some of the stress they're under. We're trying to help. So it's not either or. So you should think all that through.
Bill Gates once said, banking is necessary, banks are not. To what extent could AI or fintech replace traditional banks?
So I think, first of all, I remember him saying banks are dinosaurs. I spoke to him about it in 1997, and he was dead wrong. He'd probably agree to that. But he's not wrong that technology changes everything. And if anyone is complacent or arrogant or think that because you have a big position today, you can have a big position tomorrow, that's a mistake. But then you have to define, what is banking? Someone's going to have to hold the money. Someone's going to have to move the money. Someone's going to have to raise the money. Someone's going to have to do research, around money. Those services will still be around. And hopefully we're doing it and using a lot of tech to do a better job at it. But I've always thought it's very possible that some tech thing, disintermediates a piece of that. And I've been writing about, big tech going to our business. We got fintech, but we also have big tech. And they will embed payment systems in there. Some are going to white label banks, kind of what Apple did. They have the right to do that. I'm not against that. I would be against unfair use of their position to dominate us in a business.
Well, Apple is going deeper into financial services.
No
Do you
question.
worry about the Bank of Apple?
Well, we're going to compete. So they have a tough competitor, but they hold money, move money. Yeah, they're a form of a competitor. We also partner with them, but I'm very used to partnering and competing with lots of people. So,
Existential threat?
I don't think it's an existential threat, but I think if we were complacent about it, yes.
What advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
You have to work hard. I mean, that doesn't, but work smart. A lot of people don't, they waste so much time and they don't think carefully. And there's that great quote, "I'm sorry I wrote you such a long letter. I didn't have time to write a short one." That's respect to people. You get your thoughts together. Have a process in place for decision making. Don't allow yourself to become weaponized, at all. And don't have it, to the extent you have a temper, it works against you. You always have to end up apologizing. Have a thought process around things that are complicated, and you'll get better over life. You don't have to answer everything all at once. I tell all the people at JPMorgan, everyone should take care on their own, their mind, their body, their spirit, their soul, their friends, their family, their health. They have to do that. It's part of their life. If you mess that up, it makes everything else particularly hard. So, and I heard a great speech from a woman once who said, "You can have it all, you just can't have it all at the same time."
I like that advice. Yeah. Where's China on the list of risks?
When I say geopolitical, that's the big one. Mm-hmm. It's the thread from Ukraine, oil and gas, food, migration, all our relationships, the most important one being China. That is the most important for the future of the world. And obviously Ukraine is affecting it. And in fact, it's very hard to see really positive outcomes with China until the Ukraine war is resolved. Hopefully, whether Ukrainians could say they have a victory of some sort.
You've said you're worried about another Trump presidency. How worried?
We need good American leadership. And I think that we need to explain to people why this is so important for the world. And so there's a little bit of this, America first, and no American president is going to say America second. But what we need to explain is why Ukraine is important to us, and why American security relies on global security, and why our allies rely on that. And if they can't rely on America, they will have to rely on someone else. And so I just think it's very important. Bob Gates writes in his book, The Exercise of Power, about the symphony of power. And it's all the soft things, not the military, which we've overused, but diplomacy, development finance, education, communication, and obviously economic, trade, investment, all those things. And I think we need to do a better job in that.
What else do you want to accomplish in the world, aside from making your bank succeed?
Most important, family. And I have 3 wonderful kids, 2 wonderful son-in-laws, 7 great grandkids. That is the most important. Mm-hmm. Second most important is my country, the United States of America. I'm a red-blooded, full-throated, free enterprise American patriot. And don't misunderstand that. And so therefore that is a big effort of mine personally, and my company stands behind that to the extent we should. And then inside the company, I just hope people say, we're going to miss the son of a bitch when he's gone. And he made the world a better place, and he created opportunity and for all of us and our clients.
You're sure you're not running for office?
I'm pretty sure.
I just spoke to some friends who left the US who said if you ran, they'd come back.
I got 4 more votes.